Last March 2014, lots of people from all over the world travelled to Central Europe to start working on a big project. People from Slovenia, Argentina, Croatia, Nigeria, Liechtenstein, the United States, Hungary and India met in Slovenia to start the ball rolling.
Welcome everybody to the first SustainAware meeting.
And this is how it all happened. Welcome to the SustainAware project video.
The goal of SustainAware is to bring together organizations that work in the field of youth and sustainability to share and distill best practices in education for sustainable development. Out of this research process and discovery and sharing, we will build a publication that can then be used by any of the youth groups around the world who want to make a difference in their community sustainability.
The 8 organizations that are part of SustainAware 1.0 have a lot of things in common.
This partnership is not about choosing partners, it's about partners who are actually working in the field of education for sustainable development to be joining efforts.
We always saw that we had so much in common and that we could learn so much from each other if we could just spend some time learning about the context and the kind of projects we all carry out in our communities. Another thing that we share in common is our deep belief in the power of young people to drive sustainability.
All these organizations bring an interesting mix of international exposure along with grassroots presence. So a lot of us have been involved with the COP process, the CSD process, and yet we've all had grassroots experiences of our countries. The other bit is that these organizations have had a history of connecting across cultures, and therefore while we partner, if you really think about it, we come from so many different continents. There are language barriers, cultural barriers, and yet the fact that these organizations have abilities to build relationships, to communicate across cultures, and an intent really to work together with the belief that we are a global family. I think that's something that all these organizations share.
And we know that European countries and North American countries have a very different view of issues of the way that we do in South America, or you here in Africa, or them in India. So we know that we can learn a lot from each other. So we came up with SustainAware, and mainly what we want to do is to produce educational materials that we can use in schools to teach about sustainability, but also to encourage youngsters, like people, young leaders here we have here, to encourage them to learn about everything, and also to encourage them to act upon the problems that they identify. This is okay for us. Good. Okay.
SustainAware is a unique project in many ways. I think one is it's a collaboration across countries and across continents. The second aspect is that this project is not only a training project. It is a project that has training and an action component that comes through LDAs. And this project has a lasting contribution. So when we come out with the publication, it's actually going to start sustainability education in these countries at a very basic level. And this is not grounded in just copy-paste knowledge, but really our experiences of having seen sustainability. The LDA component of SustainAware essentially takes all the classroom theory and makes it into action. So we go into each country to experience firsthand what are the challenges this country is facing, how is it solving it, and also contribute original thinking, because we come from outside the culture, and so we are actually able to provide some answers and even give some help. Even if that's symbolic help, it reflects the spirit that we are with that community in solving that problem. So the idea behind LDAs was so that SustainAware doesn't become just a training program sitting in classrooms, but is actually out there in the community where sustainability challenges really exist.
That is the best part of the project. We didn't stick to just what was told to us to do. We have all put in our best efforts to give best experiences to all the participants and ensure that they go back with not only memories but some practical ideas that they will be able to use in their own life, right from them as individuals, as an organization, and even spread it to their country or region. So for example, this entire workshop that we did on Jugaad is now actually being used as a workshop in schools of Argentina. So these kind of small exchanges lead to spreading our practices far and wide.
We're at this village called Rampura, which is in rural Gujarat, and just giving a flavor of the village life and how it's a very different context on sustainability issues. Like you can see a bullock cart here. So the whole question of eco-friendly cars is such a distant question when people are walking on bullock carts. So you have bullock carts, then you have cars, then you can talk about eco-friendly cars. So I think my attempt here by showing them this is to help them realize that these exotic questions of sustainability are many miles away for a place which is not developed at all.
First of all, we want to give them an overview of what, from our perspective, what's the meaning of environmental health, how does it connect to sustainable development, and how does it connect to both formal and informal education. So what we hope to do is to take them to places where these are happening and the young people that can actually engage in this process.
What would be the best idea to do on our local action days, and we came up with the solution that Hungarian reality of the awareness around the topics that we focus on in this whole project are really not common. People don't know about these things, and the best would be to sort of organize something that would raise awareness and focus on those topics which are relevant and important to know about. That's why we organized this conference, to sort of reach out to young people.
It has helped us build relationships, deeper bondings with each other, organizations, and also individually build connections which are going to last longer, and also will help us understand each other's cultures better, practices better. So in fact, SustainAware has helped us understand best sustainability practices in each country.
It's true that for the first year we needed to have some fundamental partners in each of the continents, and this is how it came down to the good examples and the good experience we had with some of them. I believe now in the next cycle, if all goes fine, we will be actually relying on at least 4 up to 8 partners and their connections. So it's kind of an avalanche which is getting bigger and bigger, and in exchange with the knowledge and the best practice, we believe this network will for sure be sustained.
We want to inspire young people not to wait for their leaders, but actually lead the process. So our own concept is to create an opportunity for youth with fewer opportunities, to show them that there's actually a way, to show them that within their immediate environment they can actually lay their hands on what is close to them and make sense out of it.
I really feel that the urge to contribute to the world is a very deep urge being born in the hearts of a lot of young people. So I think the first thing young people really need to do is to connect to that urge, to that desire to change the world and believe that something is possible. So after connecting to the desire to change, I think we need to reach out to other young people who really believe in a positive future, really want future generations to have an amazing world inherited, and connecting to them. The third then is to create a blend of individual actions along with larger scale change. And lastly, I would say that our approaches have to be commonsensical. They have to be grounded in our country or our culture's ethos. They have to make sense. They do not have to duplicate what is already happening in a new way. There are already so many solutions out there. So I really feel that when we think of solutions, they do not have to come from a space of ego or just innovation for the sake of it, but really solutions which work, and which work by being grounded in accurate knowledge, by being grounded in very established approaches, and yet customized to our context. And I hope we all nurture this vision to SustainAware.
During an entire working year, full of experiences and learning, SustainAware not only achieved the expected output, but also allowed for an enriching exchange of experiences and strengthened ties among non-governmental organizations from all around the world who took part in SustainAware. This resulted in an international working group who day by day choose to work for a common purpose, knowing that across the world there are more people working for a better future.